Everyone, it's KIREI here for Hey Little Magpie, and I'm using the Park It's Time to Travel collection. And I'm also using the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit for May. Now, I love a travel collection, and I definitely have plenty of photos to scrapbook. I've gone back to my list and actually dug into some photos from last year, our trip to the US. I still have a few that I still want to scrapbook. So this collection I thought worked really well with these photos of our time in Nashville. We visited Printers Alley. It's been called that because there were many printing houses located there in the early 1900s, but now it's home to like bars and restaurants and nightclubs. And we went to the famous Skulls Rainbow Room. So yeah, it's just sort of a doorway. In fact, when we first went there, we went into the wrong place. We went in next door because it looked like it was, but anyway, we got there in the end. And it's sort of you go in, it's really dark and but it's very cool. We sat at the bar, and the barman was fantastic, really chatty, and yeah, we had a fab time there. Actually, really enjoyed just the vibe and listening to the music, and yeah. So yeah, finally getting these photos scrapped. So I have pulled out, as you've seen, I've just torn two pieces of the blue paper. That one's called Let's Go Letters. And then I've layered it with the brown stripe, which is called Essentials for the Trip. So I've sort of got two corner pieces. And then I'm adding a bit of stenciling detail. I'm using the Hey Little Magpie A5 stencil called Geometric 1, and it's Distress Oxide in Frayed Burlap. And I'm just using it for a little bit of detail on that white background. And it will sit pretty much under where the embellishment clusters are going to sort of pop. So, yeah. Okay. So now what I'm doing, typically what I do, I haven't got anything stuck down yet. Oh, I do have to confess, my photos are already mounted because I actually started this layout already once before. And I started it off and I put my photos down. I had my photos actually in twos. And so four strips of twos. And I had them sat there and I just was not loving it. And I honestly I just left it. It was sat on my desk, craft desk, probably about 3 days. I just kept walking in thinking, I'm not happy. It's not working. Plus, it's been so hot. I have to say, I have just felt not very motivated to even sit and scrapbook. My scrapbook room, I sit right in front of a window and it does get quite, the sun's right on it. So, yeah. Anyway, so this is take two. I finally sort of looked at it all again, rethought about it, and then drew up a little sketch. So yeah, here we go. We started again. So my photos I just attached to each other. So the two by twos attached to make it the four by the strip of four. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, and then now I've dug into the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit. This is the one for May, and they've got loads of fabulous pieces that actually work perfectly with this collection. So I've got lots of there's like the ephemera rulers. There's fabric stars, there's wooden buttons, there's metal buttons, there's a charm. Yeah, and there's some bright colored pieces that I've already used on a previous layout. So yeah, you'll see some more of those as I create my little embellishment clusters. So my rulers, I've stuck two down. Now, what I forgot to do at this point was add the other two to the right side of the photos. So I do have to correct that. I do it off camera, but anyway, and I'd stuck some things down, but that was okay. Okay, so I'm just playing with my stickers. So I've actually got the OK Park It's Time to Travel cardstock stickers. So it's a 12 by 12 sheet. And what I typically do is I've de-stickered them on the back. So I just use my sort of powder brush tool because I usually want to play around with them. It allows me to move them around. And I tend to like to curve them up, raise them and all that sort of thing. I don't want to stick them completely flat. So I've now getting my embellishments stuck down into place. I've raised some on foam pads, and then the others I'm sort of just tucking in, but I have curved the edges so I get that nice dimension that I like. I've got that phrase there that says discover someplace new, and I'm just adding some foam pads to the back of that, so that'll be raised as well. Yeah, so I'm just getting all of those bits and pieces stuck down, just making sure I'm happy with where they're going. Still often, even when I've figured it out at the beginning, I played around, I still end up sort of faffing around and moving things. Hey, that's okay. Okay, so now this is where I'm sticking things down. Now I decide to stick the tag and then I think, no, hold on a minute, I need to do some thread. Okay, I've corrected it. So you can see I now have those two ephemera ruler pieces down that right there, and I've stuck my other embellishments down above that. So now I'm working in that top right corner because I wanted to create a cluster there just to balance it out. So I've got my two clusters on the left and then my one on the top right, and that sort of gives me that rule of three and creates that design triangle, which sort of draws the eye in. So I'm just layering these down. I'm adding foam pads to some so I can raise them up over the others, like the little suitcases here. And even though that sticker that I've already stuck down is flat to the back, the edges are curved up, so it's not completely stuck flat. Okay, trusty T-square, making sure it's flat, of course. What next? Okay, I have got the other embellishments. So there's these fabric stars. So I've got their sort of a reddy, brown. And then there's a grey one that I'm going to add. I've got some of these fabulous. There's a number of different types of metal buttons in like a bronze and a silver. And I'm just adding those around, figuring out where I'm going to tuck them. I've got that charm there that I've just added. It's a compass. So I thought that would work well on my travel layout. So just getting them all placed and thinking, making sure I'm happy with them. And then I'm going to stitch them all down. Okay, fabric star is going on. The top, I'm adding that other sticker now that the others are stuck down nice. I was still playing around with those buttons. But anyway, if you go over to the Halo Magpie website, look for the embellishment kit, you can subscribe to that and you get the bag of goodies every month. And I just love adding those extra bits and pieces into a layout so that I'm not just using ephemera and stickers. And for this layout, to be honest, I only had the stickers and a few pattern papers. So the embellishment kit was brilliant because I was just able to play with that and add those extra bits and pieces in. It gave me different types of texture to add to the layout. So yeah, go and have a look over on the website. Okay, so I'm just stitching. I've stitched the compass on, so that's just hanging there. And then now here's the tag that I nearly stuck down earlier. I'm now adding some thread through the top of that, just tying that off because I couldn't possibly have a naked tag. Occasionally I've forgotten and then I've had to add it in after I've, stuck them in and what have you. So yeah, got the thread through that and then I can just tuck that in there where I want it to go. Okay, next, I think, here we go. I think I'm going to do no, I'm changing it to that star. Those sort of red rust coloured stars were actually perfect with the colours in the embellishments with this Echo Park collection. So yeah, so I'm just stitching that on. And then I will go on and stitch on all the other buttons that I've decided to use. I will do that off camera because otherwise it will take a while and you can see what I've done. So yeah. Okay, here we go. I think, yeah, all my buttons are stuck down. I've added the grey fabric star at the top right. I've got a couple of little stickers, tiny ones that I am just tucking in. And these ones I've just tucked, they're stuck flat at the background. So just tucking those in, but I think I only had two. Then I've brought in an alpha now. So this is the Bella Boulevard Luna Alpha it's pony is the colour, and it worked. It was perfect with the collection. So it's going to be called Printer's Alley. I'm going to add my journaling underneath that. And then I did decide afterwards to add some gold splatters because I thought, you always like a bit of sparkle. So yeah, so I add some gold splatters off camera. But you'll see that in just a moment when the final layout pic comes up. So yeah, I love working with this collection. I'm sure I will do some more with it because it was perfect for those travel photos. Here we go. Here are some of the close-ups. You can see all the details. You can see the little elements from the embellishment kit as well as the ephemera from the Echo Park collection. I hope you've enjoyed watching this process video and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.